Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you for joining the program. Today I am going to speak to a very special person from Sri Lanka who is popularly known as Latheef Farook, who has written multiple books and has been very active in Sri Lanka newspaper circles. He was also one of the founders of Kaleel Times. So let's go and meet him. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Latheef Farook.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining the program. I wanted to interview you for some time and then we made it today. So let's start from your beginning. You come from Kendi, Madavala.
Yes, I'm from Madavala. That's about 3 miles from Kendi.
Go ahead. When were you born?
I was born in the year 1943, April 29. As you know, Madavala was a very small village at that time, very sleepy village, not many people and no modern facilities, but each house had about 1 acre land, people are living quite peacefully. Yeah. Our education was, that, we had a school, Madavala school, Madavala Madina school, the village school. Village school means that we had all the facilities. Most of the teachers were Tamil teachers from Trincomalee and Jaffna. Only one teacher we had, Muslim teachers for English language. So I studied up to 5th standard. So when I came to 5th standard, I started thinking to myself that pointless studying in Madavala and pointless studying in the Tamil medium. So I want to go to a better school and study well and mix with more people, mix with people of other community. And this at the age of 10 I started thinking. Okay? Mix with other Tamils, Muslims, Sinhalese, everybody. But of course in that area that we mixed Sinhalese very freely. We lived like one family in those days before racism rose its head here. So then in the nearby about 4 kilometers from Madavala, there is a school called Christ Church College. Christ Church College. That college is the college which produced some of the best lawyers in Kendi. All of them are from Madavala. All the Muslim lawyers are from Madavala. That college produces. So I was also keen to attend that school. But I sounded the home people. Response was not very good at that time. You see, they were not very keen on education. So one morning I woke up, got dressed up, got into the bus. 10 cents you pay for the bus. That's about 10 minutes journey. I went to Christ Church College. And I was about 10 years and about 3 months, 4 months like that year. So when I entered the college, there was a fellow called Bandara who was cleaning the pond. I asked Bandara, where is the principal? He said, in there. Then he took me to the principal. So his wife was the secretary. That is Mr. George Nallatambi. His name was George Nallatambi, very respected principal. He was the principal of Christ Church College in Betikalo and produced some very good people and very liberal man and very far-sighted man, very good man. I have a lot of respect for him. So when this Bandara took me in and he asked me, yes. I said, I can't speak English, I can talk to you only Tamil. So why did you come? He said, I'm from Madavala, I'm studying in that school, but I'm not very happy with that school. So I thought of joining the school because the school has produced most of the lawyers in Madavala. So I'm keen to study here. So he looked at me up and down. Wife was seated there. With whom you came, he asked me. I said, I didn't come with anyone, that I came on my own. Huh? He was shocked. Then the wife turned this side and looked at me and he started asking all sort of questions. I answered him. So he took a liking to me. He told me, go. And then stitch 2 shorts, blue color. 2 white shirts, blue color. And then also bring 8 rupees, that is 2 rupees a month fees. A term fees, there are 4 months, 8 rupees. And then you come on this particular day. So then I went home. I told them. So third day I went there around 8 o'clock. He took me in and then he spoke to me everything.
So which was the period we are talking about? What was the year?
1956.
Right.
1956, sixth standard. So then, class 2 went and all. Then about a week later, there was a lady called Mrs. Jacob. So she was our English teacher. She took me to a side and told me, Farook, your English is weak. So what you do, my mother is a retired teacher. We call her Party Amma. On the way home, you come to my house. She lives with me. I asked her to give tuition to you. And I went there around 2:45, 2:50 I went there. She introduced me to Party Amma. A very pleasant old lady, retired, she was seated there. She told me, don't worry. Then I asked her, should I bring any books? She told me, you don't worry. And following time when I went there, she has bought the book. English with a Smile by W. Samaranayaka, book 1. So she started teaching me from 3 o'clock to 4:30. So within a month, within 2-3 weeks time, I completed English with a Smile, book 1. Then we went to book 2. Then we went to book 3. Book 3, by the time we reached, is about June, July, second term, third term already started. She told me, now you're okay. So English, my marks were also quite low in the first term. Second term, performance was better. Third term, perfectly okay. So I was also confident. She told me, read a lot of books. So she told me what type of books to read. So then, I used to buy, when we go to Kennedy, there is in the King Street, there is Mr. Yusuf who sells old books.
Right.
Mr. Yusuf, in the corridor of King Street, corridor of a building, which was a bar, liquor bar. He sells good books, but very cheap books, 50 rupees, 50 cents. But nice books. Then I started buying these books. Some of those books are still with me. So with me, then I started learning. Then Patiama called me and told me, let's go to Practical English by W. Samaranayaka. Actually, if you ask me, I would say Practical English means if you study that, there is no need to go to university in the world. So perfectly, that was the high standard at that time, before all the destruction and calamity came here. So after that, day 9, a lot of my friends in Mathele, he was studying in Mathele, they told me, why don't you join us? Then the best school in Mathele, then here also I was getting a bit tired. And school environment, maybe I got fatigued with the environment, but teachers were very good to me. So I went and told Mrs. Jacob, she told me, in any case, next year you will go beyond SSC, there's no 10th grade, there's no school. So if you go to a school there, you can continue with a higher school certificate and HSC and UE at that time. A higher school certificate and university entrance. You could continue. So then I asked, they all gave me the blessings. Then one day I went to Mathala St. Thomas's College. Then I met Father Adrian. I went alone. So Father Adrian listened to me and told me, no problem, Farouk, I'll take you. You bring the leaving certificate and come. I went then, joined the Mathala St. Thomas's College. St. Thomas's College, the environment I didn't like.
Right.
Which is, somehow or other I didn't like the environment. Then teachers were also a bit nasty. So then you see, there was a proctor called ULM Manbar. He was from Ukuvala. I went and told him, sir, there's a problem, Radhi, what do I do? Forget about them and his environment is bad there. After the schools are all taken over, they don't want Muslims here. So then he told me, come, let's go. Then he took me to Zaira College. Mr. Matai was the principal. So we explained to Mr. Matai their situation. Don't worry, bring the certificate and come. So then I went to Mathala Zaira College. I said to I got my result. At that time, I was asked to continue. There was Mr. S.H.A. Wadur. He was from Mathala. He became the principal. Mr. Matai left. Then HSC and UE, there were only 4 students. Alavi, Hassan, myself and Ajwal. So then small room in that, we were accommodated, we were studying. You see, while studying, Mr. Wadur used to come for 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday and 5 days, 3 days a week, he conducts a class called Current Affairs. That was the time, the war was on full swing in Yemen. And Malaysia liberation, African liberation, all those things are there.
So which was the year?
Huh?
The year?
1960, 61.
Yeah, so, 61, 62, like that.
War was going on. So this Mr. Wadud comes. He's from Matala itself. He's married and settled down there. It was his father-in-law who built that house, Kasimaja school, Kasimaja. Mm-hmm. So I went there. Then he comes and he brings a magazine called Link magazine, published in Bombay every week. And at the Time magazine, Newsweek magazine, he'll take one topic and explain to us. And actually, even an ordinary fellow can understand. He will explain in about 40 minutes time, full history, background, how he started, who were involved, everything. So I took a liking to current affairs, international affairs. What's happening in India, what's happening in Pakistan, what's happening in Kashmir. So then, I used to buy a lot of magazines and all those things. So my interest, my hobby.
Yeah.
So after I set for the exam, then you see my home situation is not very conducive financially to continue my studies. So I thought, without telling the home people, I spoke to a friend of mine who was already staying in a boarding house. I came there to the boarding house. 15 rupees boarding fees. So food here and there. And then I was going in search of a job. Then next to Donald Studio, I was staying at Temple Road, Maradana. Next to Donald Studio, next to that there was a guy called Sam Yunus. Very well-known journalist. A sports editor of Sun newspaper. His brother was a very well-known cartoonist in the country. Island well-known Yunus cartoon. So then one day I met this guy Yunus, told him very colorful man, very interesting man, full of life. I told him, look here man, I am also looking for a job. So I would prefer to continue my studies if possible, but look for a job. So to see whether I can make my ends meet, he told me, come to Davasa newspaper following morning at 10 o'clock. So I went to his office. So his office, Davasa newspaper, Davasa newspaper in the Hull store.
Yes, yes.
When I went there, then Mr. Dhanapala was the managing editor of the paper. The whole group. Davasa, Savasa, Vivasa, Sun, Island, Sun, Beacon, Tinapati, all those things. So then when I went, I was speaking to Yunus. Next to Yunus' room is half open glass window, Dhanapala's room. He took me to Dhanapala and told me.
How old were you by then?
I was 22 years old.
Yes.
Just getting into 22. 21 and a half. So, in the meantime, I'm cutting short the story because it took a long time for me to get to know the Yunus. It's about 6 months I was struggling very hard. So then he introduced me to Dhanapala as one of his relations. Then I would like to work as a journalist and get to know. Then he left, Yunus left. Dhanapala asked me a lot of questions. So questions and answers, that's very interesting. Went on for 45 minutes. Dhanapala was one of the best known single editors here. Very well known editor. D.B. Dhanapala means every single journalist, they know me. So then he told me, Farook, you work as a freelance reporter for us. And then if you bring a story in English, that will be translated into Sinhala and Tamil. If you bring a story write in Tamil, it will translate to other two languages. Like that, if there's a pool, in the pool you'll work. You know how much the salary? 4 cents a line. If my article appears, a new story appears, 28 cents. So very hard work. I come to office around 9 o'clock and work up to about 10:30, 10 like that. So, and at the end of the month I used to make how much? Maximum 120 rupees. Right. 120 rupees. Not even enough to buy a bun now.
Yeah, but at that time, what was the teacher's salary, for example?
Teacher's salary may be around 350 to 400 rupees. So then you see, I used to keep around 60, 70 rupees to me, 15 rupees for the boarding house. Within the other 45 rupees I has to manage. But I was contented, I was happy, and I spent 5 rupees a month on buying books from Lake House. Sometimes
So this is all in English. English, right?
English books. Yeah. Then you see, those days, the book which is sold for 2,000 rupees, 140, 150, 190 like that, or 2 rupees here. So I still have the collections of those books I bought at that time. So I used to read a lot at that time. So, and then library, newspaper, we get it free, we read. And in the Reuters, I read a lot. Like this went on like that. One day, about 6 months later, Dhanapala called me again and told me, Farook, are you a Muslim? I was thinking, what is wrong with you? Yes, I'm a Muslim here. You know Quran? I can read Quran, but I don't understand. Because that's how we were taught. So we were taught how to pray, what we should recite. That's why. Other than that, we don't know much about religion. Yeah, this is a general problem community faces. Then he told me, I want you to start one full page for the Muslim community in Sri Lanka in the Tamil paper Dinapati. Some or other, I couldn't manage it that time. There are 3 all these things are there. So, but then you see, it is wrong, it is very rude for me to say no to him.
Yeah.
He gave me the job. So out of sheer gratitude, when he called me of all the people and asked me, will you do this? I said, okay, sir, I'll do it. Coming from his office, but give me a month's time for me to get ready and start. I said, okay. In the way back, there was a lady called Yoga Balachandran.
Right.
She was a sub-editor. She migrated to Canada and settled down. Then I asked, Yoga ka, there's a problem like this. This fellow called me and told me to do, but how do I do it? He said, not to worry. You write in English. Otherwise, bring all the English books on Islam. Small stories we get. And then we translate. You translate, I correct it, and then you quit. So she was very helpful to me for about 3-4 months. After I picked up on my own, I could do with a training mixer, write bell notes. So when this was going on, but I think before that, same day I went to meet Mr. A.M. Aziz, Zaira College principal, very well known scholar. I told him, sir, there's a thing like this, one full page. He told me, Farouk, one full page free of charge in the main paper is very good. You take it. I asked him, can you give me a name for that? He said, wait a minute. He went inside, brought a cup of tea, one for him and me. We were drinking tea. He told me, Farouk, name it Islamia Punga, Islamic Flower Garden. So it sounded very familiar. So I wrote it down and went in. Then he was also very helpful to me at the early stage, giving articles about Iqbal, Cairo, these and all. Then a lot of things. He did not help me a lot here. Then also we cultivated very good friendship with him. Although the age gap was too much between him and me, we clicked very well. I looked at liking him very much here as a scholar.
Right.
And almost daily we called each other.
Right.
Yeah, I became very, very close to me. So it went on like that. So then, then I thought, the Muslims are always with UNP. But the UNP doesn't look after Muslims. They only give Minister of Labour post to a Muslim, either Dr. Kaleel or MH1. Then in the meantime, Badruddin Muhammad started, Islamic Socialist Fund. All youths were there, young generation was with him, educated people, all, because they were all fed up with UNP at that time. So, I lived at Kolpiti next to Carnival Ice Cream. He lived two roads next to me, Badruddin Muhammad. He was free. So I went and told him, sir, you are always complaining that UNP didn't work hard to Muslim. You only. Why don't you put it writing and tell me? Oh, you tell me, I'll write it down with a paper. So okay. So I wrote everything. Then following day, 2 days later, I went in. I'm reading out. He kept going on. So I read it out and took a nice picture of him and a live picture, and he was very happy. Then I came and I used one full page Islami Punga to highlight the issue. Muslims are not looked after by the UNP. And he was giving very reasons here. So, morning when I got up, that M.H. Mohammed is very furious. How can this happen here? How can they are very anti-Muslim? This is a communist. So,
this was mid-70s, is that right?
No, 66.
66, okay.
66 started here. So, too much problem he was creating. I told him, no need, this is an intellectual issue. I was 23 years old. Intellectual. Now he has given his version. You give me your version. Is it okay? Then there was Aswar was there, Mr. Aswar. Although we didn't like each other, but I loved him.
Yeah.
Opinion-wise, we didn't like each other politically. But somehow or other, I liked him a lot. He was a very pleasant, nice man. We were good to each other. We developed in 1966. He wrote this and he gave me. Then they used to say anti-Marxist Muslim United Front. I told him, saying the anti-business of Uttupotu. You try to promote the Muslim community, promote Islam. So you can't very communist. Marxist problem, Russian problem. You can't put it Russia. So then you see, he gave his version. Again, nice picture of him, and I used following in the Dinapalli. Following me. Then answer came from this side. Again, answer came from that side. Then, lot of people, intellectual, highly educated people from Eastern Palms, maybe, even from Colombo and other places, they started writing. So, I got enough material now.
Yes.
They are writing. So, only I need someone to edit those things. So, that, Yoga used to help me, Yoga.
Right.
So, help me. Pages, now the page has become very popular. This popular, and also the paper has become popular because Muslims never had a voice. Dinagara was there, but there's a traditional paper. But they never highlighted Muslim issues like this here. Now see a lot of people, for example, Kavanyar Abdul Qadir Lebba, Sharifuddin, Kavanyar Sharifuddin, the Malay Nalla from Eastern points, they started writing, they started coming, popular, became very, we continued. Then about 2 months later, Dhanapal called me, Farook, from tomorrow onwards, you go to Parliament. So I got a shock. No. I told that is a little too high for me. Can I go up? No. He told me a name, Sinhalese boy. You go with him, he will guide you. So the Sinhalese boy, Premaratnam, he worked for Davasa. So Premaratnam told me, by Monday, you come, I'll help you here. And then he told me, look, now when someone speaks in the Parliament, you don't know go write word to word. Listen to him. His main points, write it down.
Yeah.
So after 3 weeks, I was settled. I said, okay. So I used to go and cover, going like this. So at that time, again, payment wise, is very bad. My salary was not enough. But maximum 140 rupees, very difficult life. If I buy a shirt that day, either Maxim or Henkley, 10 rupees a shirt. But much better than the present day shirts. So this I found it very difficult to adjust. Then sometimes I used to go, when Mr. A.C. Samit, he was an MP. He became very close friends, that when he goes to Kandy, he goes alone. So he asked me, Farook, you are from Badavana, Friday, why don't you come with me? We can talk and go. Then it's okay. Right. I found that's the best time to talk to him, get good stories.
Yes.
On the way I told him, my position is this, salary is not enough. Why don't you speak to Ranjit Vijayawardhan or somebody and put me to Lake House? So when I tried to, he spoke. And when I was almost getting the job, opposition came from UN president. He is a communist. He is a danger to us. So Muslim people, but I won't mention name. Muslim parliamentary.
Yeah.
So then it went on like that. One day, Dr. Kaleel was living just opposite my house. I'm
Right.
at Kolpiti to next to Carnival Ice Cream. He was at living at 18th Lane. I used to meet him frequently. I took a
Right.
liking to him, very nice man like Mr. Aziz. I learned a lot from him. So Farook, he asked me, Farook, how is your life, man? You know, what about the salary? I told him, salary, this is the situation. You know, he's such a nice man. He had a heart attack, first heart attack. Despite that, this is about 6 months or 1 year later after he got the heart attack. Despite that, he had gone to meet Ranjit Vijayawardhan, that is Ranil's Vikram uncle, owner of Lake House, and told him,
Right.
boy, I can recommend, kindly take him. And then you see in the meantime, Mr. A.C. Samit spoke to Mr. Ernest Correa. He was the editor of Daily News. So Ernest also put pressure and I was taken. Mr. Ranjit Vijayawardhan gave me the opportunity. I joined Lake House and started working. And you know, it's opening the windows is a very strange thing in life. It's Allah's work. One day, then election came. Then Ernest Correa was transferred to Observer. I also went to Observer.
So, which was the year you moved to Lake House?
1970.
Yeah.
70.
Okay. Mhm.
So then you see, you know, I used to write a lot of business articles. One day, there's a person, you know, is Hari Javadana. He's a big businessman now. Owner of International Bank, John Keys, this, that, you know, one of the biggest businessmen today. He was working as Consul Expo, tea department, tea exporting department. So he and I were close friends. He was a close friend of Anura Bandana. So
Right.
then we became very close. He gave me a nice story about how some Iraqis importing Ceylon tea, mixing with local tea from Assam and selling a Ceylon tea. I wrote the article. Following day it appeared. Then I got a call from Intercontinental Hotel. The only hotel at that time was Intercontinental. The lady telephone told me, you see, our ambassador, the Iraq ambassador won't talk to you. I told no, Iraq ambassador, only Egyptian. No. He has come about a month ago. He said the Intercontinental Hotel. He want to talk to you. Okay, so right, no problem. Then I went there. Just walking from the Lake House to Intercontinental. I went there. He said, if you can come now, it's better. When I went there, his name is Bashir Al-Talib. Very pleasant man. And he told me, Mr. Farook, this story is wrong. It's not happening here. Then I told him, Excellency, this type of things happens. It's natural in journalism. I have nothing against Iraq. So, see, what you do, you tell me your side of the story. I'll write it. So, he gave me all what is happening there at that time. So, I went and wrote the following day Observer with his name, Iraq ambassador who had just arrived in Sri Lanka dismissed this report as false and wrote a nice article. So before I left him, he gave me a bundle of papers, Baghdad News. Baghdad News. So then when I came home, I wrote the article. After the following day it was published in the Daily News. Then when I went through Baghdad Observer 2-3 days later at home, I saw one full article about Iraqi news agency. Iraqi news agency. So, following 3-4 days later, I telephoned the ambassador and asked him, can I see him for 5 minutes? Yes, come. I went there. I told him, you know, that the main problem here is the Sri Lankans are not, they don't know much about the Arab world. They don't have correspondence here. They don't not many articles appear about locals, about the Arabs and Muslims and Islam. And why don't you appoint me as the Iraqi news agency correspondent here? He said, write a letter and give it to me. So I came to office. So I wrote the application and gave it to Taufik Nana. That's famous journalist called M.M. Taufik. We call him Fico. Very good journalist, very much older to us. He died. So he went through, made some corrections. He told me, Farouk, we are sending through the ambassador, the language is different. So he put it nicely. I went and gave to the ambassador. So 1 month gone. Suddenly after 2 months time, he calls me. Farook, I have some good news for you. Can you come now? I didn't know what's the good news. Lake Coast to Intercontinental, 5 minutes walk. So when they told me there's some good news for you. But you are appointed as the Iraq University correspondent in Sri Lanka. You write only 1,500 words. I don't know 1,500 words, what can you write? Only 2 lines, 3 lines about a subject. Can you do it? I said, I can do it here. Then I went and met a friend of mine. He explained and told me how to summarize maybe even 10 paragraphs into 1 line. So he explained. And Mr. Tawfiq is also helpful to me that year. So 1,500 words. And the salary was 40 Iraqi dinar. It's about 1,600 rupees. 5 times the salary of Lake House journalist. So I couldn't believe my eyes. Lake House editor's salary was less than 1,000. So couldn't believe Allah's work really. I was thinking, okay, alhamdulillah, good. So continue like this, he used to send me the paper. I used to go and collect the paper. And the reading helped me a lot. I wrote a lot about the Iraqi National Oil Company, about the Middle East. And that's the time I started writing about Palestine issues. Not many people. We had a famous 2 journalists called Latheef Farook. He is now the IPS correspondent, just retired, in the United Nations for the last 40 years. IPS in New York. He was with me and Hamza Hanifa was with me. Hamza in the Daily News. So 3 of us, we were writing a lot about Palestine issue. We were introducing. Although the Palestine Association was formed before us, by Dr. Mahroof in Kandy, Katakostaka.
Yes.
We were the people we were pushing it in Kalam. Then Dean went to the United States and he joined the UN. Hamza retired and Hamza went to Hong Kong. I was carrying all the work here. So I was enjoying the table. It was a very knowledgeable thing, and I used to meet a lot of. Then with Iraqi news agency that they sent me to Iraq also. So I met a lot of people there and good contacts I built up. And that's the time the non-aligned conference was just about to start. Non-aligned conference summit in 1975 under Mrs. Bandar. So 1975, yes. So then you see, one day it's going on like this. Libya opened its embassy, Iraq opened embassy, and more embassies are coming to Sri Lanka. And so then one day there was a person, he was our first Libyan ambassador in Sri Lanka, Abdul Salam Miladi. So he asked me, Farouk, why don't you get together and form a small support group to support Palestine? So I spoke to, I said, okay, let me see. Then I, in the evening, discussed with the guy called Najib al-Samarrai from the Iraq embassy. He is now settled down in America. He told me, good idea. Any support we give you. But I can't bring the people. You see, at that time, I was covering the fisheries ministry also. That is, Mahinda Rajapaksa, his father's elder brother, D.M. Rajapaksa's son, Mahinda Rajapaksa, George Rajapaksa. I was covering him, the fisheries ministry, and I got to know the Secretary Jayasinghe, he was a communist. But we got along very well together. Philosophy and all different, the human element works better. So then I told him, Jaya, about 3-4 days ago, Libyan ambassador told me, what do I do? I can't, even if I start a association, I can't bring the people for a meeting. Then when we discussed, he told me, I am from the Communist Party. You don't worry. You start it. That committee, Sri Lanka committee for Solidarity with Palestine. I bring the people, I bring all the Communist Party members for the meeting. Finished. Then in the meantime, there was a famous man called Iwais. He was Democratic Workers Congress, Estate Union. He was very helpful. And a former judge, Criminal Justice Commission, Jaya Patirana, Mr. Marlin, they were all involved when I discussed. Very good response. Then one night at my house, next to Carnival Ice Cream, Chinese slaughter circle, in my room, I just wrote down name we selected Sri Lanka Committee for Solidarity with Palestine. Name. We didn't have a meeting as such. I told Zain, you be the secretary. Okay. I am the propaganda secretary. And like that we appointed 5-6 people. I typed the story, gave it to Daily News, gave it to Observer, Silumina, Dinamina, Tinakaran, gave. 3 those days no computer, there were 3 carbon copies I take and go and give it to Hassan, who was working as a journalist in the radio station. I go on my own. And he used to use this in the news, English news, Tamil singer, all 3 news. So then before that, we needed a chairman. So I suggested Mahinda Rajapaksa was the youngest MP in the parliament at that time, representing Beliat. So I told Zain, why don't you meet this fellow? So in the evening, we both walked up to Sirikote, that's behind Flower Road. So we met him. Zain knew him before I met him. But I used to meet him when I go to temple. I used to meet Dr Rahman. I used to meet him. I know him. So we both went and told him, look, here we are starting this association. So what about you be the president? He said, no, because I don't know anything about Palestine. I said, you just put your name there. You be the president. Job we will do. Okay, come up. Then what you do, I used to write statements almost every other day. All the papers I give, no television at that time, radio I do, under his name. Whose name? Mahinda Rajapaksa's name. So it went on well, he was also very helpful to us, doing a lot of work to Palestine. And he got to know about the Middle East also. So this was going on like this, then going on like this. Then non-aligned conference came. Non-aligned conference, that is one of the most successful non-aligned conference in the world, in its history. Almost every Arab leader came to Sri Lanka. Anwar Sadat came from Egyptian president. Gaddafi came from Libya. Taha Yassin Mauru from Iraq. And like this, all top leaders from all over Middle East, they came there. Pakistan, Bhutto came. Family came. All very, very successful and colorful summit, non-aligned summit. So it was a good, at that time, we want to submit a memorandum to the summit, non-aligned summit, asking the non-aligned summit to forward it to the United Nations to expel Israel from United Nations for its racist politics. So then we thought, I suggested, let's have 5 teachers, 5 lawyers, 5 doctors, 5 business fellows, like this, 100 people. Then we had an appointment with Temple Road, Maradana. There's a famous temple. Zain knew the Buddhist monk. He spoke to him. Now we are going to launch that with his first signature. I can't remember the Buddhist monk's name, with signature. We went there. At that time, the PLO ambassadors was come. First ambassador. Abu al-Ali came. So we took also and went. So he signed it. Then we 5 journalists, 5 lawyers. We picked up cream of the people. And then prepared the document, gave it to Mr. Taha Yassin Mahroof. He was the vice president of Iraq at that time. To be submitted in online conference, to be forwarded to United Nations, to expel Israel from that body. Because it's a racist organization, a ruthless organization here. People are illegally planted in the heart of the Middle East. So then it went on like this. In the meantime, I told you that Iraqi ambassador, Palestine also for some time, PLO sent an ambassador. So, the time is worthy to say that, at that of the time, he was without a car. He didn't have a house. He was staying in Oberoi Hotel. Then, he can't stay there forever. Then, one day I happened to go to a friend of mine called Turui Raja. He was living at this place, Cosmic place. He was a big exporter of beetle leaves.
Earth
Pakistan. So we know each other as a journalist. I got to know him. One day I asked him, Thurai, don't you know a placement, where the Palestine ambassadors come? We need a nice, decent place. We can't give much rent, He was so generous. While the Muslim fellows were reluctant to come forward to help, he told me, Farook, my house opposite, number 10, Rosman Place. You come take over. How much you can give me? Yeah, man, I don't know. I'll ask the fellow. You know how much he charged? 1,100 rupees. That house, I haven't been in that area. It's a vast, big house upstairs, downstairs with a garden. Nice place. Maybe now we can use easily rent for you 500,000 rupees. Now. So then I was shocked. Then he told me, ask him to come anytime. Then I went and told him. Then we helped him to move in India like this. So one day, we were invited to Palestine embassy people, so many people invited to Vietnam embassy for a dinner. And when we went there, I saw driver, sweeper, worker, all of them are sitting in one table, long table, all alike. Ambassador is also serving, others are also serving there. That's where the brotherhood and equality I saw. There's no ambassador, ambassador is the office. Like this.
Perfect example of coexistence.
I admired it a lot. Ambassador getting and serving, the others are, they're all alike. And they all sat in one table and ate. So coming out, myself, PL ambassador, we were coming out to go. At that time, ambassador came to see us. So when I stopped a taxi, tuk-tuk like now, Morris Minor taxi. Okay? Ambassador was with us. He said, okay, bye. We left. Following morning, he rang me up. Farook, can you come for 10 minutes? I went there. Don't follow this ambassador, PLO ambassador doesn't have a car. I said, he doesn't have a car. I just come there, settle down. You take one of our cars. I said, this is great thing actually. While the Muslim people never came to offer anything. Muslim embassies were there, but there are limitations there. But this man, and they were not free yet. They were fighting America at that time. Yet, he gave the car. So, the car was given to him, that he used the car and given to him. Then you see, we used to take the Palestine ambassador to Eastern province, universities, everywhere for lectures. Atalchana University, Kalmuna, there was a guy called Salman. He was Professor Newman's younger brother. He the one who helped us to sort of organize all the meetings with them. Then this was going on like this. Went on like this, life was going like this. Then you see, it's government changed. 1977, government defeated. With 4/5 majority, like what happened to Rajapaksa family, in 1970, Javadana selected. Entire policy changed. All those who worked at Lake House during the time of Mrs. Bananaga were branded as SLF. So we were all a bit harassed and that and this and all. I was also deeply depressed at that time. Then there was a friend of mine called Hassan here who left us long ago and became manager of a furniture company in Dubai. Suddenly he came to Sri Lanka with an Arab and told me, he came home and told me, Farouk, this guy is a big businessman in Dubai. His brother is the interior minister, Abdul Abul. His good friend is Prince, Dubai Prince Sheikh Mohammed. Now he is the ruler now. So they went to London, brought people from Thompson Foundation, started a newspaper called Gulf News, but they ran away, papers closed down. Why don't you help us to come and restart the paper? So see, I was also fed up, but just got married about 1 year ago. I was not very keen to leave. Then before that I had been to, on the way to Syria, Libya and Iraq. I seen Dubai, it didn't impress me much. Just beginning development. Few huts, small buildings there. But no tree at all, nothing. So then he told me, but lifetime, how can you live there? No, it's very good. Then he persuaded me to come. Then I asked Patiribitan, he was our editor. He was also removed. And then Daily News editor. Then Mervyn Pereira. So three of us, we decided to go and start work. Then he sent the editor called Tim Mega. Patrivitana went first. Mervyn went first. I went later. Tim Mega came and told me, we need more people. Then I recruited Karl Mala, the famous author, Dudley Fernando from Daily News, G.W. Surendra, and Suranimala, Dhanapala's son. I decided to take Suranimala only because Dhanapal offered me the job.
Yes. Yes.
He made me a journalist. So I thought, I asked Suranimala, how? You like? Oh, okay. Then let's all wait and we started the paper. So I used to write daily, but I didn't like the place, but daily I used to write under my name. Paper was not picking up. The market.
So this is Kaleel time.
Gulf News.
Gulf News. Right.
So I took all the people, we worked very hard, but paper was not picking up, but the marketing was not good. Organized circulation not good. When it was going on like this, I want to come back. After 8-9 months, I thought this won't suit me and would come back. I resigned. This is again Allah's work, you see. Resigned. Same night I went to Intercontinental Hotel, was India, Pakistani, Dubai Friendship Association. Dinner. When I went there, the Consul General was standing at the door. I shook hands with him, Sujat Hussain Khan, his name, with him at the entrance. Then at that time a person came, and Sujat Hussain introduced me to him, saying, this is Muzammil Ahmad, he is the managing director of Kaleel Times. So he introduced me as Latheef Farook from Gulf News. He said, Latheef, this how many messages I sent you? You never came in to call me, you never came to see me. I told him I never got any message. So are you coming for the dinner? Yes. Before you go, let me speak to you. I said, okay. That morning I gave the resignation. To leave from Gulf News.
Yes,
then in the night, that he, after the dinner he came, met me and told me, Farook, why don't you join us? Join me, asked me what Kaleel Times. I give a salary and you go and take over Abu Dhabi Bureau as the bureau chief. So I thought it's a better paper, well organized paper, salary is on time and recognized paper. He said, okay. Then 3 days later, he called me and told me, let's go and meet Abdul Rahim Galadari. We met him. So he was the owner of the Galadari Empire, which was dismantled virtually by the ruling elements now. So we discussed everything, it's okay. Join. I met an editor called John Collier. He was very nice, Scottish editor. We got along very well. Then 2 weeks later, they told me, you don't have to go to Abu Dhabi, you wait here and work in Dubai. So it's okay. I used to work very hard. They gave me a driver and a car. So I used to go to Sharjah, Ajman, Umm Quwain, everywhere. I didn't waste my time. I justified the salary. I drove from the good court from them. So you see, there, believe in Russell Khaimah and near Korbakan, there was a waterfall, which nobody knew. Yeah. So we went in that. We went there, took the photo like that, and most of the people, the journalists, they didn't want to write much about the locals. But I started probing more and more into local life, culture, lifestyle, every aspect. And when they started speaking, they were speaking better than anybody else, other free loving country people actually. So see, freedom loving West in the West, freely spoke. Women were given equal rights. They were businessmen, they were running shops, they were doing everything in the UAE. So very good. I will start right now. So locals like it, and foreigners also like it. Went on like this here. So like this went on, but you see them 4 years, 5 years like this. Then I worked up to 1980. I joined Kaleel Times. 79 I went to Dubai February. 79 December I left Gulf News and joined a little later. Before I started working in Gulf News, Muzammil called me and took me to Abdul Rahman Galadari again and told me, Farouk, it will take 2 months to take your wife's visa, even your visa. In between, you go to India and cover Indira Gandhi's general elections. Wherever Indira Gandhi goes, you go. Okay. Wherever, don't worry. And at some point, after 2 or 3 or 4, 5 meetings, that she will ask, where are you? You know, he's such a business acumen. Then there are a lot of Times of India, Indian Express people who work there were working with us in Dubai, in Khalistan. So they gave me introduction to people who were covering elections in India. So I went and landed in Delhi, and for Delhi, then I contacted this contacts in Times of India, and they came and they introduced me to Indira Gandhi's press office. He said not to worry, don't worry. I'll give you those days security was not much like this. Now it's safe time. Either itinerary, you can make the booking in the airline, and you can either go before or after us, like this. Then I made wherever she went. When she went to Bangalore, I went to Bangalore. When she went to Tamil Nadu, I went to Tamil Nadu. When she went to Calcutta, I went to Calcutta. So it's full of this very hectic journey, as she predicted in Hyderabad. When I was always there in the stage with her and the other people. She asked me, who are you from? Which newspaper are you? So, all the newspapers, they are having their journalists. And I told him I'm a journalist. I told her. And I said, all the journalists are having their own people in every city now. So why are you coming for all?
Coming around. Everywhere, yeah.
I say, I'm from Dubai. I represent Kaleel Times. The owner of Kaleel Times is Dr Rahman Galadari. He told me to cover only you. So that's why I'm covering you. So that's why I'm always coming wherever, which other meeting you attend. So he asked me, who is this? Dr Rahman Galadari. Actually, that's what he wanted, the main purpose of my sending me. But he wanted her to know that he has sent a special person to cover her election. So we went everywhere. Then election was over. Very tiring. When the election was over, I went to Kerala by the time the election was over. Then she won. And then I was holidaying the Kovalam Beach Hotel about 3-4 days. I was staying. Very nice place like Mountaineer. So 4th day I heard she was coming for the first press conference to Kerala. Oh, Mrs. Gandhi. So when she came, I attended the meeting. So after the meeting, I went and congratulated. That's other way. Then after the covering the elections, I went back to Kaleel and I started working there and all those things. Then you see after about 1979, 1985, Kaleel time, old ruler in Dubai, Sheikh Rashid, failed really very badly. The young fellows had taken the power. So they were all out to fix his Galadaris and all the people there. So Galadari was running at election, difficult time. A lot of people were leaving. At that time, you see, Dubai rulers, they invested a lot of money. 3 businessmen, they started Gulf Mills in a big way. The person who started was Patrick Kaleel. He was in Kaleel time as the marketing manager. So Patrick Kaleel offered me also a chance to come. I thought, when they were doing well, they looked after us. So when they are in trouble, it's not wrong. So I told my home people, look here, even if I happen to lose the job, let's go there. There is something called gratitude should be there. Yes. Rahman Galadari is in trouble. So these are time, even if the salary is reduced by 10-15%, or even half the salary, you should stand by it. So then like this it continued. Then you see, things became very bad and they were about to close. Then again, Patrick Kaleel called me and told me, why don't you join? Then I joined Gulf News, and then I was in the supplement department for a while. And after that, a friend of mine, his name was Francis Matthew, he was working with me in the Kaleel camp. He was the editor of Gulf News. He told me, Farook, after a few years in the supplement, why don't you go to Bahrain and take over Saudi Arabia and Qatar? Bahrain, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. So I was also not very happy with the Dubai office. I went there. I found the Bahraini people highly educated. Highly educated. During Ramadan time, you see, after Ramadan, the seminar here, symposium here, discussion, intellectual activities here, men and women, both are highly educated. It is true, most of them are here, but educated. They are human beings. So I found, that it is a better place to live, intellectually stimulating. And also, all the political leaders in the West, they go all over the Gulf, come to Bahrain for press conference. I had a chance to meet a lot of people. Lot of political leaders here. I had a chance to. So I took a liking. Although I went for 1 year, I stayed there 7 years here. Then you see, my writings were a bit forthright. American atrocities, British atrocities, I write about that. On Palestine, on injustice, which the Americans didn't like. America really runs the Gulf countries. They decide who should be the editor, what should be done. They are the real rulers. The sheikhs are all just coolie fellows here. They just implement their agenda, that's all. My experience, I'm telling you. So, couple of warnings I came. But the people, educated people, very nice. I had a nice appointment, I had interviewed the Prime Minister, which I couldn't even dream in Dubai, UAE. I had interviewed the Prime Minister. Ministers are easily accessible. They are all highly English educated. So, intellectually stimulated. I spent a couple of times there. And suddenly, one day, Francis telephoned to me, Farook, we are transferring you to this place, where Dubai again, and when that can come after 3 months' time. I said, okay. But before that, something very interesting. In the morning, Francis rang up in the evening. In the morning, I got a call from the American embassy, and the guy called Mirza spoke. I said, Farouk, where is my one knows assuming office? That I told him, no such person here, only I am here. So then evening, they telephone, I said, how come the new appointment is known to American embassy before? It is known to me. So then I asked Francis, look here, in the morning today, this Mirza telephone asked from the American embassy about the new person whom I am going to send. How does he know before he comes? Then you see, I didn't want to embarrass him. He was good to me, nice to me. I went back there, this is the state of affairs. Just to explain how things are there, I'm telling you. So there is press freedom, but I wrote vehemently, vociferously, supporting the Muslim cause and Arab cause and Islamic cause, which they don't like. So there's a guy called Muslim man, Osman Bari. He rang me and said, Farouk, how you survive there? He's writing so strong article. I myself didn't know, brother, how I survived. 8 years I survived. But I have all the cuttings. Interviews, everybody. I go there, really, my family is here, they come during Ramadan time there. I come here once here, so like this, been told like this. Then after I was transferred to Dubai, I was not very happy. Dubai has changed a lot. It was a very nice place. I know.
What was the year?
That was in 2001. So, too much of alien influence. Then I got depressed. Following morning I went to resign, went back home.